looks very different than it did 2 years ago. So with that, I would like to actually turn it over to Gay Quinn.
Hi, I'm Gay Quinn. I am the founder and president of Quorum Real Estate Group, and I'm also the founder and chair of San Leandro by Design, an innovation think tank of the San Leandro Chamber of Commerce. I was here today talking around the issue of what San Leandro by Design is doing to further the conversation about innovation in San Leandro and the kinds of things that we as a community need to come together on to create consensus around new ideas that break some of the rules and create opportunities for new investment.
I am so excited to be here tonight, and it's so exciting to see all of you because there's people in the audience that we haven't seen here before. We've been doing this work for about 4 or 5 years, and each time we end up having a different kind of a conversation because of the folks that are here. So I really encourage you all to stay after and get to know one another and to get a little bit deeper into the conversation because it is a lot to absorb. I tend to talk really fast, and I'm going to talk really fast today. So if I get too far out there, just kind of raise your hand and tell me to slow down. But first of all, I just wanted to say we are so happy that Debbie Acosta has joined the city staff. And I can't tell you what a change that has made. She has brought new energy, she has brought a new set of eyes, and she's looking at what we've been looking at. And we thought we were looking at it with a pretty interesting perspective, but she's brought a whole new perspective to the conversation that we're having. So I'm really, really appreciative of that, and really, really appreciative of the relationship that we have with the city, because the Chamber has been working hand in glove with the city for a lot of this 4 or 5 years, trying to recast San Leandro and the stories we tell about it. Just looking very quickly at the work that we've been doing, what we came to recognize several years ago is that we are living in an age of unprecedented transformation and change. So much so that the world is changing so fast that we can't get our heads around it. We can't learn fast enough to be able to absorb the opportunities that are created by the technologies. Many of the things that Debbie just mentioned, of tech companies embracing these things, San Leandro has just become part of that conversation. So for about 4 or 5 years, we've been really trying to identify the locational advantages and come up with a way to tell our story. So San Leandro by Design, well, let me just back up a little bit, tell you my story. San Leandro is my adopted city. I actually live in San Francisco. But I used to work here as a city planner way back in the day before I became a developer and a consultant. And when I left on my departure party, my speech was, I can't wait to come back in 15 years and see all the good things that you all do in San Leandro. And I went to become the planning director in Emeryville, so I saw change at an accelerated pace. So I came back after 15 years and after I started my company. And the first building I bought was in San Leandro because I fully understand the locational advantages of San Leandro and where it fits in the map of the Bay Area and the region. I also knew that San Leandro, for my work here, was very supportive of small businesses. So I bought a building and I turned it into office condos, medical condos. And we did really well for the first 3 years. And then we got hit by a Mack truck, just like everybody else did in the economy. So we still have 2 units that are unsold, and we have 2 units that we've leased long-term to existing doctors and dentists. I tell you that story because as I tried to market those suites for sale in the midst of the downturn, I knew what to say about my unit. I knew what to say about my building. I knew what to say about our story. I didn't know what to say about San Leandro's story. So we started at San Leandro by Design trying to find a way to tell that story. So that's what San Leandro by Design became. And so we started convening. That's all we did. We just convened conversations. And we invited really smart people to come and tell us what's going on in the rest of the world. And those people brought other people. And pretty soon we're having these amazing conversations. So if you could, if you wouldn't mind, go to the next slide. So we started in 2009, and we didn't even know what to call it. We called it Now's the Time. Do you guys remember 2009? It was awful. And so we brought Michael Friedman, a preeminent, world-renowned urban designer, and he talked about how the current economic downturn will reshape suburban communities, and it's happening today.
The capital flows went out to the hinterland. They're trying to come back in. We never could have afforded it. Now we're understanding that people are trying to move back into the first ring Bay Area suburbs. We have to make it easier for them. That's a whole other talk, and I'll get into that in a second. So we talked about that. That kicked off the whole program. Next. Then we put together this map, and we said in the midst of the Depression, we called it, these are all the projects that were going on in San Leandro in 2009. And they continue, and there's more now. That's an untold story. So we all started getting pretty excited about that. That's pretty interesting stuff. So we said, what else are the themes that we should be talking about? We talked about innovation a lot. We talked about sustainability, and we talked about education. Next. So we were able to get Hunter Levens. I don't know if any of you know who Hunter Levens is, but she's a world-renowned sustainability author and expert. She charges $20,000 per speech. She gave 3 speeches in San Leandro for free because she believed in the message that we were talking about. She understands that in reinvesting in existing places, especially places that have a history of having made things, is really important for the planet and really important for the future of the Bay Area. So she did that on a volunteer basis. We got a lot of publicity on that. That was a really amazing event that we had. Next. Then we invited a couple of other world-renowned experts on revitalizing places, and we called it Reworking Suburbia, and we realized that talking about the way we work is changing. The way that we work is changing. What we all do is changing. And when a city changes the way it works, the city is transformed into something else. That's another thing that's driving some of the undercurrents to change in San Leandro. So this was a team of Greg Tung, many of you know him, and Rod Stevens. And they gave us a huge amount of information to use as a platform for our next set of teachings as well. Next. Then we embraced the schools because we realized that if you care about real estate values in San Leandro, you got to care about the schools. So we did a symposium talking about innovation in the schools, and we brought in architects, and we had the school district there telling their story to the business folks for the first time because no one ever thought that we should talk to each other. So we connected the dots, and we had a really great opportunity to talk about how the chamber and the school districts could partner on a lot of things. So when the school district needed a bond measure for their financial needs, the chamber was there, and we manned the phones, and we knocked on doors, and we made that measure pass. So that was another thing that was kind of an innovative thing when a community comes together. So that's the school piece of it was amazing. Another piece of it that I didn't put a slide on, we partner now with the Cal State East Bay. They had 30 of their marketing students teach in last year's cohort, come to San Leandro and study San Leandro for a 3-month period of time. At the end of that, we put on a big show with the city council and had a big party and had a wine tasting and gave the students an opportunity to present the findings of their research. They were thrilled. The professors are thrilled. The head of the school came. It was just an amazing, amazing event. So partnering is really a key thing. Next. And then, most recently, we did an Innovations in Housing Symposium, and it knocked the doors off. It was so great because we talked about new housing products that are part of the ecosystem if we're going to have new jobs and new investment. So we had Katie McCammett talking about co-housing. No one had ever talked about co-housing in San Leandro, but it's a really innovative kind of thing. We had Tom Dolan talking about live-work and where places in San Leandro could be that would be appropriate for that. Patrick Kennedy was awesome. He built 23 micro units in San Francisco. They're less than 300 square feet apiece, built in a factory and constructed in 4 days on the site. So he talked about that, and then we talked about Zeta. Zeta is a manufactured housing project or a housing developer in Sacramento. They started in San Leandro. That's how we knew them. They came back and they're talking about all the innovations that they're doing. Next. And finally, part of this is getting out of San Leandro and looking at other cities. One of our tours was to take a tour of downtown Redwood City. And we had tours of folks that had developed and tours of the city staff, and the mayor and the city councils were there, as were ours. So that's it. So I'm just going to say one more thing. One of the things that is really important for all of you, and I only have this a little bit of time to say this, at the end of this, there's a lot of opportunities for you to participate. We are open door, everybody please come. We need your energy, we need your intellect, and there's a lot of work that's ahead of us in terms of getting this message out. So we really look forward to that. If you have a card or you want to participate, the Chamber has so many things that we're working on. And if you are not a member of the Chamber, that would be the first place to start. Thanks.